Dress to impress. I'm Lisa Allegas, and this is Newsmakers. In this edition, the importance of first impressions and helping students build a professional wardrobe. This year marks the 10th annual Dress to Impress event on the Missouri Southern State University campus, coming up on February 26th. We're going to learn all about that event, how you can help, the difference dress makes in careers, and how it's impacting students. Our first guest is the coordinator of the Dress to Impress event, MSSU Director of Career Services, Alex Gandy. Thanks for being here.
Lisa, thanks for inviting me to come on. I really appreciate the time.
This is such a cool event. So Dress to Impress, now it's 10th year. Congratulations. Have you tailored this event to best fit students over the years? I mean, has it adapted over the years?
Thank you so much for asking. It has evolved over the years. I remember our very first Dress to Impress event, and it was just kind of a shot in the dark. We didn't know if students would really grab hold of this event, and it truly became an event that sparked a lot of interest, and it has evolved to meet more and more students' needs.
That's great. So it all starts with donations of business-style clothes. So what can all that include in today's society, which maybe isn't as rigid as in the past? I mean, a suit and tie still looks great.
Absolutely.
But are there more options that we need to consider?
Yeah, so as we all know, professional dress has evolved. And so if you're thinking about a young gentleman graduating from Missouri Southern and moving on into his career, if he's going into, for example, construction or project management or engineering or manufacturing or healthcare, each of those industries have evolved in their own perception of professional dress, but there is a standard.
Yeah.
There is something that they expect. We can't have students just showing up in t-shirt and jeans to interviews, because the cliche, when you look good, you feel good, there's a little bit of truth to that. And especially at the interview stage, as our students and our candidates, or our students and our graduates are candidating for jobs and for internships, how can we help them feel confident in that interview setting?
Yeah. So you're looking for both men's and women's attire. Are there certain sizes that can be hard to come by?
Absolutely. Like if you think of a standard bell curve, right? Like we get a lot of donations that are probably mediums and larges, but our extra smalls and smalls, also our double XLs, our big and tall gentlemen, we are looking for all different types of donations of all sizes. Every garment counts, Lisa, but especially if you are someone who's in the professional field of one of those who's an extra small or someone who is big and tall, we would love those donations too.
Yeah. I mean, my husband's 6'4", and he always had difficulties finding, you know, dress clothes or even jeans can be difficult if you're taller.
Yes, we were so thankful. Last year, we had a retired basketball player from Missouri Southern donate his entire suit wardrobe, and then we invited the whole basketball team, and they came on. And they were incredibly appreciative, and the looks on these students' faces, and I think that's what I want to communicate to our community, is that they make this event happen. Without their donations, this event wouldn't be possible. And to see the pride and excitement and confidence that you have students walking away from Dress to Impress with typically 6 to 8 outfits.
Oh, that's great.
You have somewhere between maybe usually like 10 to 15 garments of clothing.
Wow.
All for free. And it's because of the generosity of our community. Yeah,
I mean, that's important because it can be expensive for a student. Let's talk accessories too, though.
Yeah.
Because like a belt, if that's missing that's a detail.
Absolutely.
Right?
Thinking of, especially for a female or a male, when you're accessorizing, whether that is a tie that gets paired with a nice shirt, or if it's a belt or a pair of shoes, all those things can be donated to Dress to Impress, and all those things are needed, especially when it comes to female professional dress. The accessories really kind of sometimes make the outfit. So earrings, necklaces, frames, scarves, you name it, we'll take it.
Excellent. So we think clothing, but many times it can be those little things. Collegiates are often wearing athletic shoes to class each day. So we should be thinking about dress shoes.
Yeah,
do you get very many of those? You really kind of, I mean, they aren't necessarily worn out a lot because a lot of people don't dress up like that anymore.
Exactly. And I think that's the misconception, is like, oh, I don't know if this garment or these pair of shoes will be needed at this event. We'll take it all. And you would be amazed at how, one, what does your average cost of a nice pair of shoes look like, right? Like, what is the cost of that? And a student, which when we take those, we'll clean them up a little bit. And the students are elated to see some really nice dress shoes, both men and women.
Yeah. Since those sometimes can be difficult, though, do you also seek financial donations so you can maybe buy more sizes?
Yeah, one of the things that we do is we'll receive financial donations, and then we partner with JCPenney. And JCPenney is a fantastic corporate partner to help us get a little bit, maybe we identify there's a size or a section of clothing or category of clothing that we're missing. Prior to the event, we'll go and purchase more of those items.
So how many students are coming into you each year?
Lisa, we are so thankful for that. We average 350 students per event. So think of a pop-up department store, and we will see students lined up at the door at 9 a.m. on February 26th, just hoping early bird gets the worm. And so we'll have roughly around 250 students will come through our doors the first 2 hours.
Wow.
And so we are incredibly thrilled. This is open to alumni and current students, but that's why we need all the garments we can. If you do the math, we got 350 students coming in. Each one's going to probably take 10 to 12 garments, right? And so we want to make sure they have a selection and a choice and a wide variety of styles and sizes.
Yeah. So you set it up almost like a store, right? You put up racks?
You bet. So again, we had some donations from a department store so you walk in and it's just like walking into a Kohl's or a Target clothing section, and you have blouses, shirts, ties, shoes, and all segmented and sized correctly, so that way you can get right in and right out as a student.
Do the students have to worry about styles? I'm going to ask them about that later when they come on. But, somebody might be cleaning out their closet. Do you think, oh, this might not be a current trend? However, suits typically don't go too far out of style.
No, not at all.
Jackets.
And actually, when we think of professional clothing, professional clothing doesn't vary nearly as much as you think. So even if you have a suit that's been in your closet for 10 years and you haven't worn it, if it's a navy blue suit for a guy, guess what? Still in style. And so even because the beauty of especially feminine professional wear is that the style also varies a lot wider. And so we have some young women who want to dress in that suit coat and blazer, right, to be more corporate. But we also have someone who want to show their style a little bit more creatively, and that's accepted just because of how style and professional dress has evolved.
Right. And I mean, if you can just even have like a generic shell kind of top, and pairing that with sweaters, pairing that with various jackets.
Yes.
So neutrals can certainly, if you have a basic red, blue top blouse, it doesn't have to be fancy.
Yes, and exactly. Think of the basics of every wardrobe that probably every professional or working person needs, right? Whether it's a white or light blue button-up, or a nice navy blue or dark blazer, or a nice belt, a nice pair of slacks, a nice pair of shoes. Those are the standards that we all need. And so how can we equip a Missouri Southern student or alumni with that wardrobe as they transition from the classroom to their career? That's what Dress Up Impress is for.
You got to have a starter outfit. For sure.
Absolutely. And we want students to be able to walk into that job interview and feel confident about their dress. And Dress to Impress has been able to impact over 3,000 students over its 10-year history. And we are just incredibly blessed by our community donating those clothes, because it wouldn't happen without the community.
You bet. And we didn't only think about this. Socks. Now, you have fun socks on.
I do have fun
socks. But if you're going to a job interview, you might need just dark socks. And how often have you seen somebody wearing dress shoes and athletic socks?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, sometimes those little details, do you think employers can pick up on those little things?
Yeah, so when you are in a job interview and you're candidating for a position, you're trying to portray credibility and professionalism. One of the things that they're looking at is also not only your interview answers, but also how are you presenting yourself. And so that's when we're trying to also coach students through this event. Some of our wonderful volunteers who work this event are on hand to greet and connect with students during that event, so they can say, what industry are you pursuing? What career path are you hoping for? Here's their own subject knowledge can be a mentorship opportunity to coach them to say, hey, when you're interviewing for this job or when you're candidating for this job, here's what you should expect as far as what they are expecting of you.
All right, we're going to talk more about those volunteer opportunities in a moment. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll discuss how volunteers can help students find the best fit so they can dress to impress. Here's information on how you can help out. Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we're talking about Dress to Impress. Back with us is Alex Gandy, Director of Career Services, and joining our conversation is Athena Jones, who works in the Career Services office. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
So you've been at the event. Tell us, what is it like when you've worked this event, and what are some of the things you've done?
So the event is always super packed and busy because there's always plenty of students in there. So a lot of volunteers help them figure out what size they need to wear, because a lot of men and boys don't know what suits they need to wear.
Right.
And so they help measure them and help direct them in the right way to go. And we also help them like put their clothes in bags so they can transport them easily to the next place that they're going to.
Yeah. The last thing you want is to get a new shirt and it be totally wrinkled by the time you
True.
get there. And the students might not even have an iron, so that's probably it. So your title, Alex, is Career Services Office. How important is wardrobe when it comes to launching a career, and how important is what you wear to that job and trying to get the job?
No, thanks for asking, Lisa. When we coach students in a career counseling session, what we're helping them understand is also the perceptions that they have when they present themselves to potential employers. And so as they candidate for jobs, it's important to have a wide variety or a diverse professional wardrobe, because if you're walking into a construction organization or manufacturing or real estate or banking or healthcare, each of those industries have an expectation. And so you want to also still portray professionalism, but also with your own personal style. But having a diverse and the depth and breadth of different garments and different colors is really important to build that.
So is there a way to know the expectations? You sometimes do the job postings that are available. Do they usually include, what kind of, is there a dress code? Is that ever mentioned, or is it something people really need to maybe investigate?
From what I've seen, it's not really mentioned. It's definitely something that students need to look into more, or even they could even reach out to them and ask questions. There's always emails listed in the job postings of people who they can contact and ask more questions.
Yeah.
I mean, and is it important to sort of have an idea of what the company's expectations are in advance?
Absolutely. So whenever we are coaching students in their application phase, they need to understand what the culture is like, not only from a personal culture perspective, but also a wardrobe perspective. And that's often not included within a job description. And so they need to go above and beyond to research what do those people wear on a typical 8 to 5 day, and they need to model that in a job interview, or even take one step further. You want to dress to impress for a job candidating position, and so don't go in there underdressed. You always rather go in overdressed.
Okay, I was going to ask about that. My son wore a suit to a job interview, and they told him when he got there, the people who work here don't actually dress that nice. But after the interview, they were talking about, how nice that he dressed.
Yeah.
So can it be impressive even if you are a little overdressed for what their normal attire is?
Absolutely. You are always reflecting you as a person, and also your professionalism through your wardrobe. And we hate to use that cliche, but people are going to give you that first 30-second first impression is so important. And if
30 seconds isn't very long.
Exactly. If you take yourself seriously and if you take your wardrobe seriously, you're instantly giving yourself more credibility in that job interview setting.
Is there a difference between a different standard of dress when you interview as opposed to a day-to-day?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for example, even for Athena's future industry, Athena is going into environmental health and safety. In her job interview setting, she may wear a blazer and like a pantsuit. But maybe when she's out on the field, she may be in a branded corporate polo and whatever that weather would permit that day. But day to day, you're going to have casual Fridays, but there's also going to be corporate days. We have some of our students who work in some of our top 5 industries within our community, and they have days that are corporate days, like you're doing not just business casual, but business professional, and students need to be prepared for that.
Well, an employer might want you to make a presentation, so you should be able to show that you can be someone who's front of the room, correct?
Absolutely, that's a great point.
Well, Athena, you've worked the event. What kind of questions do students come in with? And what were even like you yourself? Did you ever go there shopping for yourself?
I have looked around myself. As a person that's working the event, it's usually a lot easier to know and how to navigate, but that's definitely one of the main questions that we get, like where can I find such items and whatnot in our space that we use.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what it says to an employer if you mismatch. I mean, is the devil in the details? Because say somebody comes in, they tried to dress nicely, they've got the suit, but they're still wearing sneakers.
Yeah, you want to have some formality and unity within your wardrobe. And so this is, I tease guys about this all the time, but there is a trend that they see, whether that is on an NFL sideline or within their favorite ESPN show, that these gentlemen are wearing really, really nice suits and Nike sneakers. Man, that's cool, but that's also their style and their industry. Okay, when you are applying for local jobs within the 4-state community, they expect some traditional dress, but they also expect some uniformity within that.
Yeah, I was going to say that because they're athletes, but they're athletes.
Exactly
so
right.
That may fit their genre
Absolutely.
of work.
And they're all former professional athletes, so they can do what they want. when we're candidating for a job, you're wanting to you mentioned the devil in the details, but we always describe ourselves that you're either building credibility or taking away credibility through an interview, and your wardrobe can do that for you. You can leverage your wardrobe to showcase your professionalism and your credibility and how you're taking that company seriously by dressing professionally for them.
And mismatching can hurt you more than just being consistent with what you're wearing.
Like if they're walking away from your interview and like, what was that person wearing? They're not thinking about what you said in your interview questions or your resume content and your experiences. They're thinking about your wardrobe.
You don't want them to distract from who you are.
Exactly.
So I think I know the answer already, but still going to ask, does the fit matter?
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, you've seen the little kid who's like trying to wear a suit and mom bought 2 sizes too big and it's kind of baggy.
Absolutely. So and that's one of the things that as we have our students come in, that's why we really appreciate our coaches and our volunteers who are there, who can, for example, for whether it's a male or female, like, hey, let's understand, what does a blazer size look like? How is it supposed to fit your shoulders? How should it fit you around the waist? How should your cuffs be length or your tailor size of your pantsuit? So we want to make sure that you don't look like you just put on, if you're a toddler, you're putting on your dad's clothes, right?
The big shoes, it's a cute photo, but not for career day.
Not for career fair.
So how do the volunteers get involved? How do they sign up to help? And, like, what if there is a tag missing? Is there a way to figure out what these sizes are?
So volunteers can get connected to the event, like through, I'm sure, the website that you'll be promoting, but volunteers can help us sort and organize clothes prior to the event, as well as they can help during the day of the event with coaching and mentorship. And a lot of what that coaching and mentorship is being on hand to help a student, one, identify what their size preferences are, what their style preferences are, and also understand what industry they're going into, and also being on hand to say, okay, based upon that industry, let me recommend some things to you. Here's where the mediums or larges are. Here's the sizes, here's what's available, and let's get you 3 or 5 outfits that fit your expectations.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about, I think clothes are one of the things people see. What other advice do you give students when it comes to getting that job interview and making that first impression? Is it about the handshake, greeting the interviewer, or even just thanking them for the opportunity to be at that interview? What are some other things that you add to the clothing mix?
One of the biggest things is that elevator pitch, right? The introductory about me or tell me about yourself statement. We're always wanting students to not only feel confident in their clothes, but feel confident in those statements. As I work with Athena and as she wants to be in environmental health and safety, helping her communicate to someone in a career fair while professionally dressed, this is why I love this profession, this is why I like your company, and here's why I'm interested. Because once you set that, again, that first impression is so critical, and the first 5 to 10 minutes of that interview is so valuable. I want students to be able to communicate who they are and why they're wanting to pursue the career that they are.
So do you also encourage them to dress for success and impress when they go to, like, say, an internship?
Absolutely, yeah. As students are, whether that's even a job shadow or an internship, they are building that professional circle of influence for them as they transition from the classroom to their career. And so again, you're wanting to exhibit that professional credibility to them. And so dress professionally at all times if they can. Even at different times of the academic year, we have employers who come to visit campus who want to give just explanations and to market their opportunities. Dress professionally on those days if you can.
Finally, some do's and don'ts, what to bring, not to bring. Phones, no go at an interview.
I would not have your phone near you on your phone, especially as connected as we are, as notifications come so regularly. You either better silence that completely. Always have a padfolio. That's something that we always are encouraging students to have, like having additional copies of your resume so that as soon as they sit in, they can make sure, does everybody have a copy of my resume? So they can build that credibility. Making sure that they are dressed professionally, making sure that they are taking notes throughout an interview. Always important things so that way they can send a thank you note after that interview setting so they can dot all their I's and cross all their T's and hopefully get that job.
Excellent. All right, great information. Thank you. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break. And when we come back, we'll talk to some students about the Dress to Impress event. Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we are talking about the upcoming Dress to Impress event on February 26th from 9 to 4, and the importance of wardrobe when it comes to preparing for a career. Joining our conversation are students Ashley Calvin, a senior, graduate students Sloan Warwick, and Kayla Short, who is a student worker in the Career Services Office. Ladies, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So I'd like to just go down the line. How many times have you shopped at Dress to Impress, and how did it make a difference for your wardrobe?
I've shopped there for about 3 years now. It's definitely helped me. I just started my internship for my senior year of college, so I've kind of gradually collected clothes throughout the years.
And what kinds of things did you feel like you needed that you just didn't have naturally?
Honestly, everything. I didn't really have any reason to have it in high school. So as soon as I came to college, I realized, oh, I need pants, shirts, belts, shoes, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And so next on the list, so tell us what you got, Miss Warwick.
So I've gone to Dress to Impress, again, like Ashley said, for about 3 years now. I started going because I knew I was going to have an internship coming up, and that I did not have the right pieces in my wardrobe to, you know, put together a presentable outfit for 8 weeks. On end. That it's just stuff that you don't think that you don't necessarily think to get in high school unless you have like some specific event for it. Like dress pants, really. Dress shoes was very hard to find. Jewelry that's appropriate for work is actually harder to find than you'd think. And just, you know, stuff you don't really think about in day-to-day life.
So have you gotten the pieces you needed?
Yes.
And what would have been the stumbling blocks to getting those? I mean, is cost usually the factor?
Cost is a huge factor. Business professional clothing is can be quite pricey especially if you go into a store and you don't know, you know, what you're looking for or when you can get it. So, you know, I've started to build it up, but it takes a while, especially when cost is a limiting factor.
And it's not always what you would wear casually. So you want to try and find those pieces that you might be willing to wear multiple uses clothing.
Yes.
So Kayla, you work in the Career Services Offices. Do you see those kind of donations coming in? And do you help kind of do you see like potential for outfits when you see items come in?
Yes, I do. It's my favorite part to see the items come in, because the bags come in and then I get to look and I'm like, that's going to look so cute on somebody. And I can see how they could wear it and where they could wear it too. That's probably my favorite part.
Yeah. Do you ever go, ooh, I want this for me?
Yeah. Normally Alex tells us to wait till the event. But yeah, I see
Wink,
that.
wink.
I need that. I'm going to be a teacher, so I think about the fact that I'm going to have to be doing that every day next semester when I'm student teaching. So it's especially different this time. I'm like, I'm going to need more of that.
And we did talk about settings, and teachers, you know, they're not going to be able to wear jeans, but they don't necessarily have to be in a business suit.
No.
So, I mean, you get an idea of that there are different items for maybe different professions, correct?
Yes, and that's part of the fun part of it is if some crazy pants come in, I'm like, I know lots of people that I go to class with every day that would love these. And I'll text them, like, at Dress to Impress, you better be there early so you can get these pants.
Yeah. So what would you say is typically missing from a college student's closet that you would need for, say, a job interview or the career-based internships? I mean, what's in your closet and what's typically lacking? Any of you ladies?
I'd say the thing that's typically lacking, which you can tell me if I'm wrong, is the pants that aren't jeans or pants that don't have holes in them, jeans that don't have holes. Because shirts, like we all buy cute tops, everyone, but professional pants is what I would say.
It's one of the number one items. Yeah. How about you gals? What's in your closet that might be passable, but then where's the real shortfall?
I think mine would be dress shoes. I'm a huge advocate of wearing sneakers anywhere and everywhere I can. So I definitely think my closet is lacking when it comes to wearing presentable dress shoes that are also comfortable.
Yeah.
I'd say that my closet, what it lacks the most is basics that can go casual or professional. So shirts that you can layer under a blazer, or just basic tops that aren't, you know, blouses and aren't t-shirts.
Yeah. We sort of talked about, you know, cost being a barrier and one of the conflicts. Do you also see that maybe students kind of want to be comfortable? And is that hard? Do they feel like dress clothes are uncomfortable?
100%.
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
There are some comfortable options out there. So, and when you're sorting through the clothes, is that part of it? Kind of going, oh, students will wear this.
Yeah.
You know?
There are definitely certain items I'm like, this is comfy. I think, which I just love thrifting in general, so I think the secondhand aspect of them makes them more comfortable than going out and buying my own new business clothes. So that's another plus to going and shopping at Dress to Impress. It's pretty comfy.
Oh, there you go. All right. Do you guys feel like standards can be a little bit confusing as to what is and is not acceptable? I mean, how can this event maybe help to clarify it's okay to wear this to a job interview?
I think a lot of it is having to know what your field in particular deems as acceptable, because what's acceptable in a teacher's classroom may not be acceptable in an office space. And so having the volunteers there that really have some firsthand job experience in the real world, that maybe have crossed paths with your degree field is really, really helpful.
So did you feel like you got good advice from the mentors there?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. So how important are trends? I mean, because students are typically very trendy people, but can that be an obstacle for students when trying to buy clothes that can double as career wear? What do you think?
I'd say that trending outfits, while they can fit into professional wear, erring on the side of classic is probably the better way to go, because trends will come and go all the time. And if that's all that students are looking for, it can be difficult to then take those pieces and make outfits after that trend has passed.
Yeah. So if you were talking to the people donating, so what would you tell them? Hey, get this out of your closet. This is really something that would be helpful.
Just,
You meant classic. You said classic wear.
Yes.
I struggle to find a good pair of just black pants. Just
Black
the basic
pants.
things that you could be like, anyone could. It's like Alex was talking about earlier, how when you go to your interview, you dress different than you dress day to day. And so just the things that are just classic and basic can be worn to an interview, and so that they can make that good first impression and then add your own. They can add their own flair to it after they get the job.
All right. As we wrap up, Sloan, what would you tell to other students about why they should go to Dress to Impress?
Dress to Impress sets you up for success the minute that you walk in the door. The minute that you walk in the door to the event, they have your best interest in mind. They are going to help you find an outfit for a job interview, an outfit for your first day at work, your outfit for, wanting to make a good impression on your boss, setting you up to really have the skills and the knowledge base to then create and cultivate those outfits as you leave and enter the real world and are doing the shopping on your own.
Excellent.
It really gives you the knowledge base to go out and do that with confidence.
All right. Well, we hope the community steps up to give those donations. Get them in by that Monday, the 24th, so that you guys can collate them all and get them on the racks. Thank you, ladies, for telling us all about it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That wraps up this edition of Newsmakers. We hope you will dig into your closet and share some of your professional clothing with Dress to Impress. Thanks to our guests, and thank you for watching Newsmakers.